The Middle East has once again entered one of its most volatile and dangerous moments in decades. Explosions light up the night sky. Air defense systems launch interceptors at incoming projectiles. Sirens echo across cities as civilians rush into underground shelters. And behind this chaos lies a rivalry that has shaped Middle Eastern geopolitics for more than 40 years. Iran and Israel. For decades, these two nations have fought a hidden war through intelligence operations, proxy militias, cyber attacks, and covert missions. But now, that shadow conflict appears to be stepping into the open. Massive strikes have reportedly rocked Israeli territory, triggering a wave of military alerts and raising fears that the region could be moving closer to a direct confrontation between two of the Middle East's most powerful military forces. The question the world is asking tonight is simple. Is this another limited escalation, or the beginning of something much larger? Today we'll break down what happened, why tensions between Iran and Israel are reaching a boiling point, how both militaries are preparing for the next move, and what this could mean for the United States and the entire world. Because when Iran and Israel move closer to war, the consequences are never limited to just two countries. Part 1. The strikes that shook Israel. The night began like many others in a region used to living under the constant threat of conflict. But within minutes, the atmosphere changed. Early warning systems detected incoming threats. Military radar networks activated across Israeli territory. Air defense systems immediately moved into interception mode. Within moments, Israel's famous multi-layered missile defense network was fully operational. Intercept missiles launched into the sky. Flashes of light illuminated the darkness, and across several regions, residents heard the familiar sound of sirens urging them to take cover. According to early reports, multiple projectiles were fired toward Israeli targets. Some were intercepted, but others reportedly made impact. Several buildings were damaged. Strategic infrastructure was reportedly targeted, and in some locations, fortified defensive structures known as bunkers may have been hit. While the full extent of the damage remains unclear, the psychological impact was immediate. For Israel, even a limited number of successful strikes represents a serious security challenge, because Israel's defense doctrine is built on preventing exactly this scenario. Part 2. The shadow war between Iran and Israel. To understand why these strikes matter, we need to go back decades. The rivalry between Iran and Israel did not emerge overnight. Before 1979, Iran and Israel actually maintained diplomatic and economic ties. But everything changed after the Iranian Revolution. Following the revolution, Iran's new leadership adopted a deeply hostile stance toward Israel. Israel was described as an illegitimate state, and Iranian leaders began supporting armed groups that opposed Israeli influence in the region. At the same time, Israel increasingly viewed Iran as its most dangerous strategic threat. Over the years, this rivalry evolved into a quiet but relentless shadow war. Instead of direct battles, the conflict played out through indirect confrontation, assassinations of scientists, cyber attacks targeting critical infrastructure, airstrikes against military positions, and proxy forces battling across multiple countries. This hidden conflict has been unfolding for decades, but now it appears to be escalating into something more visible. Part 3. Israel's multi-layered defense shield. Israel is one of the few countries in the world that lives under constant missile threat. To deal with this reality, Israel developed one of the most advanced missile defense networks ever built. At the heart of this system is the Iron Dome. Iron Dome is designed to intercept short-range rockets and artillery shells. It uses radar to track incoming threats and calculates whether the projectile will hit a populated area. If the rocket is heading toward an open field, the system ignores it. But if it threatens civilian areas, an interceptor missile is launched. Above Iron Dome is David's Sling, designed to intercept medium-range missiles. And at the highest level sits the Arrow defense system, which is designed to stop long-range ballistic missiles traveling through the upper atmosphere. Together, these systems form a multi-layered defense architecture, But even the most advanced systems have limits. When a large number of projectiles are launched simultaneously, defenses can become overwhelmed. This tactic is known as saturation attack, and it has become one of the biggest challenges for missile defense systems around the world. Part 4. Iran's expanding military capabilities. Over the past 2 decades, Iran has significantly expanded its missile and drone capabilities. Sanctions and international pressure forced Iran to develop a military strategy that does not rely heavily on conventional air power. Instead, Iran invested heavily in ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and armed drones. These weapons allow Iran to strike targets hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away. Iran now possesses one of the largest missile arsenals in the Middle East. Many of these missiles are capable of reaching Israeli territory, but Iran rarely launches attacks directly. Instead, it relies heavily on regional allies and proxy groups. This strategy provides Iran with strategic flexibility. It can apply pressure without immediately triggering full-scale war. Part 5. The role of proxy forces. Iran's influence in the Middle East extends through a powerful network of allied groups. These groups operate in several key regions. In Lebanon, there is Hezbollah, one of the most heavily armed non-state actors in the world. In Iraq, Iranian-aligned militias maintain strong political and military influence. In Syria, Iran supports forces that help maintain strategic supply routes across the region. In Yemen, the Houthis have developed increasingly sophisticated missile and drone capabilities. Together, these groups form what analysts call the axis of resistance. Through this network, Iran can pressure Israel and its allies across multiple fronts simultaneously. If tensions continue to escalate, this network could become a major factor in any broader regional conflict. Part 6. Israel's military doctrine. Israel's security strategy is built around a simple idea: threats must be neutralized before they become existential dangers. This doctrine has led Israel to carry out numerous preemptive strikes across the region. Israeli airstrikes in Syria have targeted weapons shipments and military infrastructure believed to be linked to Iran. Israeli intelligence agencies have conducted covert operations aimed at slowing Iran's military development, and Israel has repeatedly warned that it will not allow Iran to establish a permanent military presence near its borders. For Israeli leadership, the stakes are extremely high. Iran's growing missile capabilities are viewed as a direct threat to national security, and any sign of escalation is taken very seriously. Part 7. The United States and the strategic balance. Whenever tensions rise between Iran and Israel, the United States becomes a key player. The United States has been Israel's closest ally for decades. American military support has helped Israel maintain its technological edge. The U.S. also maintains significant military forces across the Middle East. These include bases in Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, and Iraq. If a regional conflict erupted, these bases could become strategic assets or potential targets. For this reason, Washington often works behind the scenes to prevent escalation between Iran and Israel, because a direct war between the two could quickly draw in other nations. Part 8. Economic consequences. A major Iran-Israel war would have immediate global economic consequences. The Middle East remains one of the world's most important energy regions. A large percentage of global oil shipments pass through the Strait of Hormuz. If tensions escalate and shipping routes become threatened, oil prices could spike dramatically. Higher energy prices would ripple through the global economy. Inflation could rise, markets could become unstable, and supply chains could face new disruptions. In today's interconnected world, regional conflicts rarely remain regional. Part 9. Information. Warfare. Modern conflicts are not fought only with missiles and tanks. They are also fought through information. Social media has become a powerful battlefield. Images, videos, and reports spread across the internet within seconds. Sometimes these reports are accurate, but other times they are misleading or manipulated. Governments carefully shape the narratives surrounding military events. Public perception becomes part of the strategy. Winning the information war can influence international opinion, diplomatic responses, and even military decisions. Part 10. The danger of escalation. The most dangerous aspect of the Iran-Israel rivalry is escalation. Every strike carries the risk of retaliation, and retaliation often leads to counter-retaliation. This cycle can spiral quickly. History shows that wars often begin not with deliberate decisions, but with miscalculations. A misunderstood signal, an unexpected strike, a misinterpreted military movement. Once escalation begins, controlling the pace becomes extremely difficult. And when multiple actors become involved, the situation can spiral beyond anyone's control. Conclusion: a region at a crossroads. The strikes that have rocked Israel are more than just another moment of tension in the Middle East. They are a reminder of how fragile the region's balance of power truly is. For decades, Iran and Israel have fought a hidden war. But when that war moves into the open, the risks multiply dramatically. Missiles, air defenses, bunkers, military alliances. Every element of this conflict carries enormous strategic weight. The coming days and weeks will be critical. Diplomacy may calm the situation, or retaliation could push the region toward a much larger confrontation. And as the world watches closely, one question continues to dominate global headlines. Are we witnessing just another escalation, or the early stages of a much larger war? Only time will tell.